Hey everybody, it's Dark here, of course, back with another episode of the Battlefront Let's Play. But we are now done with the CIS. It's time for something new, something much better. The Grand Army of the Republic, the clones. Just like in the movies, we start out here on Geonosis. Pretty fun battle. Not quite as easy as it looks in the movie in this game, though. I'm going to go and hop in the ATTE here. Lots of cool vehicles on this map. That's one of the things I think is really good about it, is you have this just basically a giant open field with a few landmarks like the Spire and the crash ship there. The Republic base has a cool little command center. This is also the Techno-Union ships, which we'll see later, but go to just pound some droids for now. Oddly enough, though, getting into ATTE is really not that good of an idea, really. Because what happens is there's just so many turrets and other vehicles on this map that you can just take a lot of fire, throw in rockets from infantry, and it's not always the best idea to get in the really large, slow-moving vehicles like the Spider Droid or the ATTE. It's a Spider Droid I'm shooting at right now. I thought I was doing really well against it, but then I checked the health bars and I realized I was doing terrible. Yeah, you can just see, though, the amount of rockets I'm getting. One advantage the CIS actually does have in this level is that they have the Geonosians helping them out, which is basically an unlimited infantry that does not penalize the life counter at the top when they die. So that can make this level a little bit difficult. But you can see there, there's, as always, bane of my Battlefront existence, the Droideka must continue its reign of terror until its shield drops. But we get to... The clones aren't my favorite sharpshooter in the game. Like I said, and I said in an earlier video, they lack the double zoom on their rifle for whatever reason, at least in this PC version. And I've always thought that was just really weird, and I don't see why they don't get it, but the CIS does. But anyway, as a whole, though, I really like the clones. I think they're pretty good. They do have some pretty good vehicles, in my opinion, better than the CISs for the most part. ATTE is easily one of the best vehicles in the game. The gunship is really good. But my absolute favorite is the Empire, which we'll get to later. Once we start doing missions with them, we'll talk more about why I love them so much. Reason why I like the clones a lot, my second favorite, is because they, like I said, have a lot of good vehicles. I also just enjoy their missions in the campaign. I think they got some of the better ones. They kind of get to use some of the nicer maps the game has to offer, and it's not so short like the CISs. There's still no real counter to the Droidekas. Vehicles are still your best bets at this level, but other than that, they're pretty strong, and we will get a counter to them soon, just not this level. But you can see right here that you have the Republic's little command center deal set up here as your furthest back spawn point as the Republic. But you can see I'm under siege right now. I'm really not doing too well at this point. I honestly think I should not have just gotten in that ATTE at the beginning. It really didn't help me at all. I didn't really even get that many kills in it. I didn't destroy that Spider Droid. It just didn't work out, and I died as soon as I got out of it to a sniper. I probably would have been better off playing as infantry from the start, or maybe hopping in a gunship where I wouldn't have been contested so much. But you can see here, like the Naboo Gungan level, you have this large open map, but the hills aren't so rolling like they are in that level, in the first level of the game. This is very open map, but you do have some stuff. You can see both here that wrecked ship directly in front of me, which has a command post, and the Spire is that huge rock just outcropping, sticking straight up. You can actually climb up that kind of. There's a path. I shouldn't say climbing. It's really just follow the path. It's pretty well defended though. Lots of turrets. There's a cool command post inside with like a separatist command center theme to it that you actually get to see in the movies. So that's pretty cool. It's nice when they actually stay really consistent like that. You can, like I said, in the background of this map, you can see like droid control ships. You can see clone acclimator assault cruisers in the sky. It's cool. Let's take the gunship though. Gunship is pretty powerful. I wait here for a little bit because I want to get some teammates in there, but I'm impatient and I go anyway. Holds lots of gunners, lots of firepower. Not that maneuverable, but in terms of just wrecking stuff on the ground, easily the best, easily. Nothing really can scratch this thing in terms of just firepower. You can also just kind of just hover and just be entirely stable, so it makes it really nice for, you don't have, it's not like the droid starfighter where you're going to have to line up strafing runs or anything. No, this is a very low skill vehicle. You can literally just hover and just drop rockets and blaster fire on everything. Now over here, that large gray spaceship that I just shot at is a Techno Union ship. The story reason behind we're destroying them is so the droids can't retreat, but here they act as command posts. They're kind of durable, but to the gunship it's really not bad, especially with the rockets. You can just take them down, and it really hurts the droids because then they lose 3 command posts, and that's kind of... I start going after them because I know it's really going to turn the tide for me now, and the reason behind that is basically they get bottlenecked into their 2 or 3 command posts they'll have after they're gone, and you can just hold them there and just knock them down all day. Yeah, you can see it's already getting to like half health after only a few seconds, so it's really not rough to destroy. One thing this map does suffer from is the draw distance on the troops. It's not like in Kashyyyk as the CIS. When you're fighting in the droid starfighter, you see a lot more detail on the surface. I guess because this map is so big, it just doesn't animate everything to where you can see it without getting much closer. But like, you can barely see those infantry. This just doesn't do well. I get some help there from an ATTE that actually made it through here, and we got that Techno Union ship. As we move through here, you can see that this is a really expansive map, which is one of the reasons it's, I think, a really good map overall, despite its flaws. I wish I had gotten some gunners in there so you could see the other weapons going, but none of the clones were spawning there for whatever reason. Even when when that command post was under attack, they still wouldn't spawn there. So it was really strange. They kept just running into a meat grinder up in the middle of the map here around the spire. Yeah, that spider droid can actually go down though. You can see though I'm starting to actually take some fire, gunship smoking. So I'm just gonna go and get out of this because I enjoy playing infantry more anyways. This is definitely one of those maps where it's more beneficial to be in first person because the scope on every weapon really helps your KDA. It really does on a map this large. Some maps, you know, I prefer the third person, but this is definitely a first person for sure. No debate about that. It's really not even close on it. You can see the Geonosians though have some unique weapons, which is pretty cool. Actually, that they get their own setup here. You know, they actually stayed, again, consistent with the movies with those kind of sonic blaster deals. I don't know a whole lot about those. Even as a huge Star Wars fan, I actually don't know much about the Geonosians. But you can see here, I think this name of the command post on the map is actually just Bunker. And it's actually a pretty good command post, especially if you're like an ARC trooper or a demolitions droid, because you can just sit in great cover and just shoot rockets all day, refill your ammo, and just keep destroying enemy vehicles. But speaking of the enemy vehicles on this map, or vehicles period, there's just so many in this level. Whether you're the public, you get the gunships, you get the ATT, or the CIS, you get these, they're not droid starfighters, but they function pretty similarly, but in my opinion the starfighter is actually a little bit better. You see them at the end of Attack of the Clones. Count Dooku flies one, I believe. There's 2 of those on these maps you can pilot. There's the spider droids, there's the Hellfire droids, which just shoot rockets, but actually the Hellfire droids really don't make an appearance in Battlefront 1. That wasn't to Battlefront 2, but that's okay. Battlefront 2 used this exact map, except slightly retextured, I believe. A little bit better. They got a little bit better animating stuff on the PS2, I guess. And pretty much the Hellfire droids can move really fast, fire lots of rockets. Probably seen them for a little bit in Attack of the Clones, but it's strange when you look at things that did make it into Battlefront 1 and things that didn't. Like, okay, so you have the Geonosian sonic turrets here, but you don't have the Hellfire droid, which is a bit more prolific for the CIS than just the Geonosian turrets, which show up here and nowhere else. Yeah, you can see here in the middle of the map just how many command posts there are too on this map. But yeah, it's time we go for the spire. Spire can be a battle in its own right, just because it's honestly large enough to be a small map, and there's plenty of turrets, spawn point. It's nice. You know, it's actually one of the best parts of this map. And like I said, here's this Separatist command post, which looks real cool. You can see actually it has like the Techno Union ships and some gunships on there. They never change; they're static, but it's still pretty cool. But you can see we also have Mace Windu here, but he really wasn't helpful this mission, not like Count Dooku was last mission. But this match is ours now. We've made the strong recovery. I was definitely right about getting those Techno Union ships out of the way. But so when you take an enemy command post, there's actually, if there are enemy vehicles there, they'll actually start taking damage. But I want to go ahead and show you guys the ships I was talking about. You might recognize them once you see them. But right here, you can see they actually start taking damage now that we own this command post. They're smoking already. But yeah, see, the one next to me just exploded. And I hopped out of first person for that, like I usually do for vehicles. Third person show you. It doesn't handle, in my opinion, as nicely overall as the fighter does, but it's still fun. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I always appreciate feedback, of course.